Only happiness is really in God. That's the only happiness existing ever. Timeless. Exist in God. Stay in God. Be in God. And when you offer yourself to God, you feel the glow, the warmth of His presence, of the presence of the goodness. And then in the mind arises, but the others, they suffer, they don't know it, and you immediately hear inside, they are my task. It's not your doing. You just yourself, direct yourself to God. And the others is the task of God, not yours. Don't be unhappy. That's what I felt this morning. And it's tough because the others are your relatives, you love them, you want to be good, they are happy. But it's the same as your own road to God. You had to leave all behind to reach God. And they too, it's their turn on their road, and it's God's task to make them ready. It's not your task. You are free. This means you are directed and taken by God into His bliss and happiness. You leave everything of the world behind. All the habits, all the worries. It's God taking over, yet taking care for you all the time. And now that you know it, it gives you the feeling of freedom and happiness. No worries. Don't worry. That's what God says. He has all under control. He decides how and when. The others are His task, like you were His task. And you felt you were ready to feel to go. And the others too will feel to go when He decides, when it's the time. Happiness is not here in this world. It's only in the inner source from where this world arose. The world came out of your heart, and your mind took over to control it. Well, that's not working. You will find out. Everybody will find out. Leave the mind behind and feel your glow of your heart with the love of God, burning all sorrows away. It's not your burden anymore. Leave it. Surrender and offer to the goodness, the love. Surrender to love. There's nothing else to do, and the love will make you happy. The more you think about it, the more you realize that it's not even a question of surrendering to God. He is not taking over when you surrender. He has always had your life in His hands. He was carrying you from your birth, and He will carrying you till you go back in His source, in the source of love where you came from. He was all he is always there. He's carrying you through life with all the ups and downs, but he's just looking and making you ready to understand that the ups and downs are only in your mind, in your thoughts, in the way of thinking, and that the underlying love is always there. It's your behold, it's your safety, it's your easy going, gliding through life on the love of God. Here and there you make a tour and it seems anxious, or it seems cannot handle it, but it's all carried in the hands of God. The God is the underlying sweetness where you drift on. Whatever happens, it is happening in the love of God. It has a meaning for you to see that it is love, nothing else, but understanding it is His carrying, it is His doing where He takes you. You can be safe, but He is love. God is love, so He will only bring you to love. The way is love to love. God is love. Love brings you to love. And don't think about things happening. It is His doing. The mind won't accept it, but it's the love of God that will make the mind see. It has nothing to say. Mind is just a blow in the wind. God has taken you so far through all those adventures. He will take everybody through all those adventures to His love. He is in them also. Don't worry, be happy. The mind does not love the heart, because when you are in your heart with your feelings and your presence, mind cannot come with you there. And the heart allows the mind to go out, and there it can discover trouble, difficulties. And the heart allows to make that tour because the heart knows you'll come back. Mind will bend its head, and all the time the heart is loving, allowing that journey, or what you call it. It's a mind game. Without the mind, there is peace. But peace without anything that disturbs doesn't know what it is. So it goes out in the world, makes up a mind, and fantasizes a journey through the world with ups and downs. And finally, the mind will shut up. And the heart and then knows that it is love and peace, because there's no thing disturbing anymore. That's the greatest love you can have, to allow the mind to go on this journey. But the mind wants to take over, it will not let go. As soon as you feel peace, mind will search for something to disturb, because it wants to be there. It has had a role, very important role, and it doesn't want to give it up, so it finds something to disturb you. And when your love, the God in your heart, is present, and your love is great enough, it will overrule the mind, not on an aggressive way, but it will make the mind see that it is born out of love. It was good that it was there. It was good that it made this journey in the world, but it felt lonely, or the reaction to that was to have a big mouth and to overrule, or to be as small as possible and to obey the world, the things in the world. But that's all mind. Mind can blow itself up, or it can make itself small, but it will still be a separated feeling. It will always be a separated, lonely feeling, this mind. And when the heart has traveled with the mind, it starts to see that it is best to stay in the heart. The heart knows the way. And the mind comes with the love of the heart back to the source. And then the real peace is felt. Because now this peace is known. Because there is no opposite anymore. God has traveled in the world with your personal separated feeling, and this feeling of separateness brought you pain and suffering. And God knew, was all the time with you. He allowed you to make the journey, only to be able to turn your back to the world and come back to God. And God is with you every moment of the day. Now wherever you are, it is not you, it is not your mind, it is God in this world. As long as your body is still in the world, every morning it wakes up, it is God waking up. It's not you anymore. Don't worry, it's done. It's love takes over. Love has taken over from the mind. It allowed the mind, and the mind was fighting back, and then the mind surrendered. And that's when the love of God was felt as bliss, as presence, as reality. That's the reality. And it will never leave you again. It's worse to travel to come home. Be blessed, be blessed. God is with you. My good Lord, the more attention there is for you, the greater bliss is felt. You reach yourself in this form. And this form is burning from happiness and bliss, exploding. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva in me. Finding Shiva, Shiva, Shiva in me. Where am I? Exploding in the Shiva power of love, 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 wisdom, bliss, Ananda. God is God is God. I feel it. The feeling is God. My goodness, what a extremely life this is. To see yourself dissolving in bliss and happiness. To experience that. Oh my goodness, my good Lord. You found yourself here now. Bliss. Thank you. You are that which knows that you exist. You are before you exist. Before you came, you were. And you still are when you leave. There is a gigantic field of knowing out of which appeared your human form, to find out that it is that field of knowing and not the human form. But the field of knowing needs something to find it out, what it is. So it sent you into creation. It dreams you in creation. This field of knowing dreams a form into happenings, experiences, time, place, and that what is in that field, in the time and place, in this happening here in the dream, thinks and believes it is real. It has to believe it is real, for otherwise it would not do nothing. If you know it doesn't help, you don't act. And if you know it is not real what you do, then you don't do it. So you have to believe you are the reality, you are true, you are really yourself. And by going through that experience, you find out you are not this personal form. You are that field of knowing from where you came, so-called, because it's not real. But as long as you think it's real, you suffer. And when you know it is just a dream of that great knowingness, which you really are, and now you know that, dream is gone. That field, this knowingness, is now inside this form which was sent out. It was sent out on a journey to experience that it is not this form, but it is that which sent it out. And you will always be that. You are that by which you know you are. And you are not this form, this temporal. It's a tool. It's an instrument to find out. This makes you so happy to know that you are what you are. You are timeless. Timeless beingness. Bliss.